Hi, everyone. Sorry. Sorry, we're a minute late here. We were just discussing a few different talking points that we're going to go through today. Hi, Karen R. How are you? Um, Socio, how are you doing today after the debate last night?
Sorry. Hold on. I'm good. I'm gonna gotta mute my little thing here.
Oh,
There.
yeah.
I'm good. I'm just waiting on. I'm waiting on a hurricane.
How's it been so far?
It's been. I mean, it's just normal rainy weather right now. A few wind gusts, nothing bad, but it's still offshore quite a bit. Um,
Right.
it'll hit the Louisiana, the lower part of Louisiana first.
Hmm.
We're just hoping that it doesn't gain any strength. I could talk about hurricanes all day long, but
Hmm.
I should be a forecaster. Um, but I'm just hoping, and it doesn't look like it's going to gain a whole lot more strength, which would be really, really good for everybody. Because
That's
we
good.
just don't need any major hurricanes down here.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, nobody on the coast, and I'm sure that that's something that a lot of people right now are stressed out preparing for and things like that. Just getting ready for the crazy to hit. But speaking of crazy, let's talk about this debate a little bit. So, I think the only thing that the media took out of the entire debate, I shouldn't say all of the media, but the biggest thing that I've seen all over social media, all over Twitter, all over all over the the places, right? Instagram, Facebook, the news broadcasts, different articles coming out. The only thing that people took out of this debate was Trump and the kitties and puppies and ducks and all the animals, and so
And the
I kind of have
handshake.
to, yeah, and the handshake. That's the two things. And so it's kind of frustrating in a way. I am one of those people that kind of laugh at these memes, though. I do think that they're hilarious. I just can't help it. I have an inappropriate sense of humor. I know whenever we were talking about the submarine crisis and things like that, a lot of you guys did see, um, that side of me a little bit, but it's something I can't help but laugh at some of the memes that come up. But this is not what's important. How am I going to feed my family this week? How am I going to pay my bills next month? How am I going to continue to survive if my car breaks down? God forbid I have to purchase another one. If anything happens to my my home or any of my relatives, like how can anybody take care of themselves right now? People are depleting any types of savings that they had, if they've ever had the ability to have a savings. We talked about in the last 5 days, my husband's 401k dropped by $10,000, because the stock market is just starting to plummet and stuff, all at the thought of Kamala Harris being elected as president. But you have to laugh, because whenever something gets said on a debate stage, and then within hours social media immediately responded. And to me, I think PETA lovers should absolutely love the fact that I guess our new, our representative for the Republican Party is being shown in such a positive light towards animals. But some of these are absolutely hilarious. Like, I love this one. He has like the giant muscles going on, holding the two kittens, protecting the kittens. Him on the Secret Service plane with all of the animals surrounding him. There's a couple with him looking like Gladiator. Let me pull this one up here. Uh, let me see some of these bigger. Do it like this. But to
Boy,
me, like, out of all
people
things,
are
I was
quick with
going.
them, aren't they?
They sure are. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how much that this became the issue. Like, we went into this debate, I went into it with a completely open mind, because I am sitting there, and yes, I do lean Republican on a lot of my things. I used to be a registered Democrat, switched over to the Republican Party a few years ago, and I'm sitting there going into each election. I always look at the policies, not the person. look at the policies, break down what the policies are going to do for me, my family, my future, my children's future. I'm constantly looking into how can I set up my children to not have to live, a struggle, a life of struggle like I grew up with. You know what I mean? And so being in that situation and looking towards the future and how things are going to affect, knowing that Kamala Harris did not have any policies on her website until Sunday evening, and then the policies that are there are just a copy and paste of exactly of what Joe Biden had. And so to me, this debate, I wish it would have focused more on the issues that are concerning. I could care less about something that happened 4 years ago. No offense to the lady who lost her life on January 6th. But to me, that's minimal compared to the people who are going to lose their lives in financial crisis, and the people who lose their lives to illegal immigrants, and the people who lose the poor animals, duckies, chickens, cats, whatever you want to call them, that lose their lives to different immigrants. And it's frustrating the whole way around that somehow this became the focus. This is all everybody is talking to about. And don't get me wrong, I've laughed. My brother is a very, very left wing liberal, and he has been posting memes about this all freaking day. And I can't help but sit there and look at it and laugh because they are funny. I'm sorry, Donald Trump he is a funny guy whenever it comes to stuff like this. Let's see here. Hi, Jet's mom. How are you? Let's see. This is real, y'all. I'm not a resident there, but thank God I've literally seen the body camera of the officer going to a home where a Haitian woman with the cat. So I do want to say I have seen this body camera footage also, and I referenced that body camera footage also yesterday during the debate whenever it all came out. I was like, listen, I've seen the body camera footage. Law and Crime actually put it up 2 weeks ago. The thing is, though, this was not a Haitian woman. It did turn out it is an American who was very high on drugs. She was in Canton, Ohio, not Springfield, Ohio. But that does not change the fact that there is still things like this going on in this area. And so I do want to pull up let me see here. There's a couple different things. So one is a phone call from a man who is in this area, and he called into the police. Let me see if I can find the audio here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I pulled up a lot of stuff right before this, and I have a ton of tabs. But he called into the police to, report about the fact that he's seen these Haitians picking up ducks and stuff from the pond, like large amounts of uh, wildlife. This guy, we're going to watch the city council meeting, actually happened yesterday afternoon. And during the city council meeting for Springfield, for the city commission's meeting, many locals went up front to speak and talk about the crisis that is going on in this area, and like asking for help. They want Springfield to do something about the crisis that is happening there. And guess what, guys? This is not just happening in Springfield, Ohio. This is only where 20,000 people have been put. We have 11 million that they are telling us about. 11 million, probably upwards of 20 million is what the estimations are that have come in illegally that they didn't tell us about, right? The 11 million, though, that they have placed into different cities and different areas throughout our country. And so it's not just Ohio that is being affected by this. It's not just Colorado that's being affected by this. It's not just New York that's being affected. It's all these different little towns that they are putting these illegal immigrants into, and just leaving them there. And I'm sorry, but I don't know how you feel about this, but Seal, how would you feel if you guys were out and about and, like, say you were just at the park hanging out, and then out of nowhere, like, people just started decapitating ducks in front of you?
Well, that would freak me out, because it doesn't happen here. We do have several illegals here. I had a friend, I will just say this, I had a friend who was coming up our highway the other day in front of Walmart where I live. So it's just up from the beach.
Uh-huh.
And they were in a gridlock sitting there, and three what she called them illegals, but three illegals tried to get in her truck with her and her elderly mom. They were beating on the truck, trying to carjack her truck. Well, she so she pressed her gas a little bit and knocked them out of the way. What they do? They got up and they went over to an 18 wheeler and another car. This is happening a lot south of me, about I would say about 13 miles south of me. 13, 14 miles. Um, they're just coming they want, and our law enforcement and sheriff department is not doing anything about it. If they started doing weird things to animals, that would just freak me out, and I'd probably have to like call somebody to come get them. But that's just that's just kind of weird and bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Sorry, just trying to pull up everything here. It's just it's all just baffling. I did send you guys a couple of videos of there's a video, for instance, of a man putting a cat into a bag. For instance, I'm not sure. I'm going to show
Uh,
it. I'm not sure how YouTube's going to react. They may or may not take this video down. I do not agree with what this person is doing, but this is something that is happening where people are like, okay, this cat's just walking down the street and this guy just grabs it and sticks it in a bag. Like, what are they going to do with this cat? I don't know. But I have seen TikTok videos of somebody grilling a cat. Like, this is not, it's not happening, unfortunately. There they are, putting this poor cat. Who knows whose cat it is? I don't know what the purpose is. Throwing it in a bag. It's not just the Haitians, it's not just Ohio. This is something that's happening. You are looking at situations where these migrants are being put into 800 square feet homes with over 25 people to one bedroom houses. It's just it's too
oh, that's true. I do know that's true. Yeah.
mhm. It's too tight. It's too tight of an area. Let me pull up this here. Sorry, I don't know where I stuck that audio. I pulled up too many different things at once. Here's Sheriff Jones. This is yesterday. He did a address yesterday at 2 p.m. Speaking on the illegal immigration in Springfield, Ohio, in that situation.
Jones from Butler County, Ohio. I'm here today to talk to you about the invasion of our country. And mostly what we've had, I want to talk about uh, Springfield, Ohio, which is less than an hour drive from here in Butler County, Ohio. So if you look at it, Springfield has been in the news in the past few days. It's a 1 hour drive from here, and their residents, about 50,000 residents. In 4 years, I want to repeat that. In 4 years, they can't tell exactly. It's between 15 and 20,000 illegals that came into their community, have been brought to that community. Listen, 50,000 residents. If and you've seen it on the news, what you've got, the residents are angry as hell. It affects their school system. It affects the hospitals, social services agencies. Where are they going to live? The police, the live squad. You don't know who these people over, who they are. They're coming in. Now, you've seen on the news mostly Aurora, Colorado. Illegals took over an apartment complex, all from one country. Listen, it comes a time to when we have to say, look, you can't just come here. They come from 160 different countries. They come through Mexico into the United States. I have people ask me, we're the the seventh largest county in Ohio, all the way in Ohio, the seventh largest of 88 counties. Why do you care? It's pretty simple. It affects everybody. Here in Butler County, we have 400,000 roughly population. In my jail, any given day, I have close to 1,000 prisoners. In the last 3 years, I want to repeat that. In the last 3 years in my Butler County jail, I've had close to 1,000 illegals in my jail from all over the world. Of that 1,000, they've had 2,000 criminal charges placed on them. I just had a guy in my jail that been deported 8 times, been deported 8 times. and they found out that he killed somebody. And it's not the end of that. We just went back and got another one from Mexico that killed somebody 10 years ago. They get there, they think they got it made. I've been saying this all along. It affects, I go to small counties, I talk to smaller sheriff's offices, I go to sheriffs and I talk to them from all over the country. It don't matter how small your city is. If you're on the interstate, you got people coming through, they arrest them. What language are they speaking? They come through your jail. They're in your area. If you get out on the roads and you travel, they're in your area. If you go to the people that have died here in Ohio, we've had 5,000 people die of drug overdoses where the fentanyl is coming through the Mexican border, coming from China. China's doing this on purpose and trying to addict and kill people and cause disruptions within our country. It's not on the border. I've been to the border 3 times, and I'm telling you, every state is a border state right now. If you get out on the highway, you travel, you get out on you go shopping, people are on drugs, they're driving cars. This is because it's coming through Mexico from China. We're in a major, major issue of our country. 78% of Americans think that we've let the borders go and we're being overrun. We have people coming from China that are of military age. That's not make believe. We have people that are here. We're getting ready to come up on 9/11. Don't forget what terrorists can do, a small group. Pay attention. These complexes and these people that are coming into our country illegally, they're not supposed to be here. We don't know who they are. We allow close to 1.5 to 2 million people to come in illegal every year. I believe they've got close to 16 million people or more that have came into this country. We have no idea who they are. Pay attention. God bless you and stay safe, my friends.
I mean, the crisis that's going on, it goes well beyond just the pets and things like that. Here's another clip from a Springfield, Ohio crime watch group. Somebody had posted warning to all about our beloved pets and those around us. My neighbor informed me that her daughter's friend had lost her cat. She checked pages, kennels, asked around, etc. One day she came home from work, and as soon as she stepped out of her car, looked towards the neighbor's house where Haitians live, and saw her cat hanging from a branch like you do a deer for butchering. They were carving it up to eat. I've been told they are doing this to dogs. They have been doing it in Snyder Park with the ducks and geese. I was told that the last bit by rangers and police, please keep a close eye on these animals. Now their fact check that they did was of course about the fact that they talked to the community awareness people and things like that. And well, of course the community is not going to come out and be like, hey guys, yeah, this is going on in our town, because they don't want people to not want to go there. They need people to come and bring their money and bring their dollars and spend money in their neighborhoods. They don't want their residents fleeing. They don't want their residents, starting to pack up and leave them with just the Haitians. I mean, they're paying for the Haitians to be there. They need these actual residents to continue to be there to actually finance the area, because guess what? The American people were paying for all these illegal immigrants. And it's not just the Haitians. I want to be clear, nothing against Haitian people. If you want to come here the legal way, you want to come here and do things the right way and become American, right? A big part of the problem with this is they want to come to our country because it's better, because, things here are good, and it's like a rich nation, or however you want to look at it. They have this idealist, the American dream idea in their head, but then whenever they come, they want to continue their same values and their same way of life that they had in their homes that destroyed their own country. There's a reason that you want to leave your own country. Why bring those values and those standards and those behaviors here? If you want change, come here to live how Americans live, not like this. I mean, this is just crazy to me. And I'm sorry if that frustrates anybody or upsets them, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, the government, I would say our government allows them to do that.
Right.
They don't. I mean, there are laws in place. We got tons of laws. We got rules all over the place. No one enforces them. I mean, it's too hard to enforce, honestly, and that's kind of lazy to me. But for them, it's too hard to enforce rules, even if they're like, minute little rules or something like that. Even if it's like it would be a misdemeanor or something. Oh, it's not worth it. Rules are rules and laws are laws. I think if you have to abide by them, or you're just going to be one big chaotic mess.
Yep.
And that's exactly what's happening to our country.
Right.
It's chaotic.
It's so frustrating to me, though, again, that this is what came out of the debate. All of this, these memes, these jokes about this, the constant talking about this, and they're trying to make it look as if stuff is not going on, but it is. They don't want people to have this picture of the illegal immigrants doing crazy things that could potentially, I mean, pets. Oh my goodness. We see people cry over somebody killing a dog or killing a cat or killing an animal. We see people cry and get hysterical over that 1,000 times more than they ever would about a baby. They're
Oh,
fine with killing
exactly.
babies, but God forbid you kill an animal. And so this is the people that we're dealing with. Sorry, I just realized I never switched my microphone over. This is the people that we're dealing with, though, and so they don't want this idea that this type of stuff is actually going on, because that ruins their whole perception. But here's a 911 call that was placed in this area as well about the different geese.
Clark County Communications.
Yes, ma'am. I got a question. This is a non-emergency line, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm sitting here. I'm riding on the trail going to my orientation for my job today, and I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 of the license plate, but I got the numbers. The last numbers was 9898, and it was a gray Toyota Tacoma they took off on. There was about 4 of them. There was 2 men, 2 women. I couldn't tell the age because I'm in a hurry going to this orientation, so I don't be late.
What direction did they go?
They went up towards the middle of downtown.
Okay, and what path are you on?
Right now, hold on just a second. I'm coming to the intersection of. Give me a second here. It says Water and Warder Street.
Water and Warder. Is that the area
Yes,
you saw
right.
them?
Yes. It was about 2 minutes back behind me. I was trying to get my phone out and trying to make it to this orientation on time. I'm time crunching here. And I saw that. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be reported.
So how many geese did they have?
They each had 1. Now, the Toyota Tacoma did look like a newer model.
And what's your name, sir?
My name is. It's hot out there today.
I'm sorry, what's your last name again? Your phone number is that? Okay, we will put this out to our cars and see if we can't find them. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, so that was a phone call about some of the geese. Then I had the city council meeting, and then we'll move on from the animals. I feel like it's important to point out the fact that their fact check of all of this was not factual. And it's frustrating to me because I could care less if they fact check, right? They did not fact check her at all on any of the lies that she told. They fact checked Trump, I think it was 10 times, where they interjected or corrected different things. And it's just frustrating because, if you're going to do it, then do it the whole way. Don't just choose
Right.
one side or the other. Don't just choose to hold one person's feet to the fire, whenever at the end of the day, everybody should be held to the fire. All of them. It's important for America that we know who is going to be in charge of our country, that we know who our leaders are and exactly what they stand for. And I think that's what's frustrating for me, because of the lack of talk about policy, because they focused on only emotionally triggering issues and things like that, instead of it being, about things that matter, like the economy. Very first question that was asked was about the economy. She didn't answer it. She gave a non-answer.
No, she didn't answer it at all. I was waiting on something that she would come up with something. She didn't answer. She went all the way around.
Yep. Sorry, I'm looking for this guy. This meeting is like 2 hours and 45 minutes, and a lot of it is these locals who are coming up and, like, asking for change. CNN, according to CNN, Trump told 30 plus lies and she only told one. I find that hard to believe. I mean, I guess it all depends on who your news source is.
Brown, Mr. Rue.
Here. Dr. Estrop is on a scheduled vacation and Commissioner Brown is.
Let me see. I should have grabbed the timestamp. I was so fired up whenever I was watching this earlier. But it's all these people that are coming up with all these different issues that they're having, and it all has to do with these immigrants in their areas. Thank this lady.
Noel.
Taco
Okay.
Tuesday. Going. And now we get it.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
Okay.
you.
I did not mean to bring any ill will to my city. Everybody knows at this point who I am, and I'm not really comfortable with that. I try to keep to myself, and that's not what I wanted, was for this to happen. I did not mean to bring any ill will to the city. All right, first,
This lady, I have the video of her from her last time she was up there. She was talking about how badly overrun the immigrants are and things like that. Hold on, let me go to this thing already has it clipped out, so we'll just come over here.
Incredible fire torch lighter will burn through literally anything. It will give you fire,
Come over
no matter
here
what
since
Mother
I
Nature
didn't
throws at you.
grab the
This
timestamp.
insane electric lighter is the ultimate
Save
survival
us some
tool.
time.
It's like nothing else you've seen before. It's so powerful, it can even
I kept running into ads saying I could get semaglutide for less than $3 a day, but when I checked, it was
Breaking news, this story behind me is going viral and causing controversy because it's about this woman talking about Haitian residents eating cats.
Oh, we lost Neil.
Used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them like. And let me be clear, this is not about race. This is about people being given the privilege of coming here from another country and having no respect for our people, our land, or our life's work. People living their life here the way they did in Haiti, angry, stealing, polluting, living in filth, and acting like animals. These are not civilized people. Opening containers in our grocery stores, helping themselves to what's inside and throwing the rest onto the shelves and floors. Pulling off of the highway to publicly clean and gut the roadkill, lying there in front of anyone that passes by. Stealing animals from farmers and leaving their severed heads at the side of an old school where children play. Relieving themselves in public. Making some barbaric stew out of the birds that live in our park. This is insanity, and it has to stop. What will become of Springfield? Where will we be in 5 years? The thought terrifies me.
Also goes on to talk about how the Haitian drivers, they are a catastrophe. Insurance has gone up because of this. It's wreaking havoc on this neighborhood. And to give you a
I totally agree with this too, JP. Whenever it comes down to it, the president is just the head of the snake. No matter which party is in charge and things like that, there is always the body behind the snake that's controlling a lot of different things. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. But that's just a little bit of clips from the council meeting. I think I dropped the link to that video for the whole council meeting if you guys want to go watch it. Let's see here. Here he is.
All right. I'm 28 years old and I'm a social media influencer and I just be on TikTok and stuff. I do YouTube. I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun because I see what's going on in these streets and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits and I'm getting out here every day
and I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like, I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know, like, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to, like, seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get like a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns and they look for dope and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for, like, going left to center and, like, a couple miles over. Like, y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive, since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic. Y'all pay them. They can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive, because it's getting I'm getting thousands of views on these, and it's going to get bigger, and it's only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a t-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets, and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is. Like, y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all really got to stand on business. Y'all getting paid all this money just to wear a suit and sit in a chair. I think it's crazy, bro. We got to do something, bro. It's kids out here getting hurt. Like, only reason I even went on here and said something about it is because somebody told me they walking from the school and a Haitian almost ran into them. And who is getting paid? Like, how much money is y'all really getting paid, like, to bring them over here? Like, I know it's deeper than them. I know that's where they come from, and that's what they do. That's their country. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they can't do that over here. And if y'all just getting paid from it and then y'all ain't doing nothing about it, I think that's super weird, bro. Y'all got to stand on business. Y'all got to really, like, step up. Like, it's lame, bro. Like, for real.
Thank you for your comment.
He called him lame. Like, it's lame, bro. That's kind of funny. Sorry. CL, are you okay now? Oh, nope, she's gone again. She is in the path of the hurricane, and her Wi-Fi is going bonkers. And so that is a whole thing. Yeah, you wonder why, if it was so easy for it to be debunked, someone gave him very bad information. Yeah, I mean, obviously he said the wrong animal, I guess, right? He said the wrong animal as far as what they can prove. But again, there is that video of the person putting the cat into the bag. There is another video of a person wringing a cat's neck, which I obviously cannot show on YouTube. There is a video of someone putting a cat on a grill. And it's just frustrating, because it's not cool, and it should not have been the focus of the debate. Shouldn't. But we're going to move on from that subject now. I just wanted to put out that little bit of information of what we had going on there. I do want to show you guys some of the, they're saying from the swing state, from swing voters. I doubt that most of these people are swing voters, simply because Washington, PA, I know it's a pretty red area. There is a lot of MAGA supporters. You can see people with MAGA hats on here. But President Trump this morning did take questions from different voters in Washington, PA. And so I do want to play some of this and show you guys some of the interactions that they had here. And then we'll talk a little bit more over the economy and abortion. I think abortion is another thing that the debate focused so much on. And they, of course, they fact check Trump, but the reality of the situation is there are videos of the previous governor in Virginia, saying that he supported all the way up to late term. late term abortions and things like that. And so there is information out there to back up some of the stuff that he said. But again, are we focusing more on issues that, okay, great, abortion is something that not everybody is going to have to face, but everybody is dealing with this economy. Everybody is facing, these day-to-day crises with the economy. Unless there's more than one. I'm sure there is more than one.
Not a lot from the moderators about the issues last night, but in this swing state of Pennsylvania, these issues are true. Sir, you own a car dealership, part owner of it, and you say, this is your birthday, by the way.
It is.
And what is your question for the president?
Good morning, President Trump. My question is, what are some of the immediate steps that you will take to improve the economy and get us out of this mess that Biden and Harris have left us in?
Right. Great question. The first thing I do is close up the border. People have to come into our country legally. They can't come in the way they're doing now. We have millions and millions of people coming in, even a month, on a monthly basis, and they're destroying our country, and it affects our economy. The other thing I do is drill, baby, drill. I'd be drilling, and I'd get energy prices, and I'll reduce your energy by half within 12 months. Half. And I hope that Lawrence, if you're listening, Lawrence, I hope you go and do a little shout out poll. And I don't know the people there, but I love the people there. I can see it. But why don't you do a shout out poll who they thought won the debate last night? It would be great.
I think who won the debate? I think it is I think it's all going to be based off of opinion, right? I don't think that anybody could say there was any one winner. I think honestly, Americans lost the debate last night whenever it comes right down to it, because key issues weren't answered, in my opinion. As far as Trump goes, I was honestly, he did a lot better with maintaining his facial expressions and not full on yelling and things like that. We have seen him in debates in the past. For example, back in 2020 or 2016 with Hillary Clinton, where he got downright volatile throughout those debates. And he didn't do that. He didn't necessarily tote the line that I think a lot of people were hoping that he was going to walk. He didn't stay exactly completely on task. He did let Kamala get under his skin on different issues. But whenever it comes right down to it, I also don't think that Kamala answered the questions. She didn't come out there and tell us her policies. She didn't come out there and tell us what she was going to do or why she is different or any of those things. But the reality of the situation is, I really think that she had practice speeches. Not even so much that she had the questions. I don't even want to go into conspiracy theories about the questions or microphones in her ears or anything like that. I don't even think it had to be something like that. I think that she had pre-planned responses that she likely practiced, just like she does her little speeches that she gives at each one of her rallies. She says the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I think that what she had was a list of things that she was like, okay, if they say the economy, this is going to be my response. And if they say abortion, this is going to be my response. And if they say this is going to be my response. And she would practice those responses. And that's why we got blanket answers, because she didn't actually hear the questions or respond to what the questions actually were. She just gave her blanket responses that she always does. She did word salad less this time, in my opinion, than what we have typically seen from her in the past. But again, anybody who has practiced a speech 100 times over, they're going to be able to give a well thought out response because they had time to practice that speech. I think if we were to get her in a situation where it was completely off mic, not planned, an unplanned event where she had no time to prep or anything like that, you're going to see her do her word salad and things like that we normally do. Now with Trump, obviously everybody was a little bit disappointed whenever he did let her trigger him. I mean, she put the bait out and he walked right to it. He walked right to that bait. She mentioned the crown sizes. It immediately got under his skin and he did get frustrated. And I think at that point is whenever he started to, go off of the path that he probably should have stayed on. I wish that Donald Trump would have called her out more on her policies. I thought a huge moment in the debate last night was when he said, listen, you're in office right now. Go right now. Go right now and shut down the border. Go wake up Joe. Go wake up Sleepy Joe and put him out there and let's get this border shut down right now. You don't need Congress. Just sign the paper. And that was a good point. it was a good point, and I wish that he would have stuck to that kind of rhetoric and really calling her out on the last 3.5 years. Unfortunately, I feel like he was more still prepped for Joe Biden than he was for Kamala Harris, and that's frustrating because that he was aware going into this that this was going to be a lopsided debate. We knew that going into this that this was going to be 3 versus 1. It's going to be any time that you're talking about the media. It's always going to be this lopsided situation. And so knowing that going into it, why why don't why don't why don't people sorry, I just read this moment. Kamala has been speaking publicly her whole career. Vote blue. Our daughter's rights depend on it. I don't understand what that means because whenever you look at this, Donald Trump is for in vitro fertilization, wanting people to have that paid for. I think that's a huge thing. There are many people who struggle to get families. That's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that could be saved. And then is it only the daughters that are born that matter? Because what about all of these daughters that are killed on a day-to-day basis by thousands of people who decide to just murder babies? And so I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And putting that type of rhetoric, putting that type of emotional standpoint on why you vote, that's why we're in the problem that we're in. Too many people vote blindly and don't look at policies and vote just solely on emotions and look just solely at trigger statements, trigger words, period. That's all that you look at. Your daughter's rights depend on it. That's an emotional statement. Tell me what Kamala has done for your daughters. Is it because I can show you whenever she fought against a bill to protect children from pedophiles. Did you know that, Hippiporium? Did you know that she voted against child predators being registered and things in California? Voted against that. She wanted child predators to be able to live within school zones and to be able to be anonymous. How does that protect your daughter's rights whenever, we have pedophiles? And so there's a lot of different things that I can pull up against that argument that you're making right there. But you tell me the policy that you are going on that says that she's going to be any better for your daughter. I'll wait for your response, because tell me what your policy is that you're going to show that says that she is for your daughters in any way, shape, or form. Trump is simply saying to put it to the states. That does not mean that abortion will be banned. That's a completely unfactual statement. Completely unfactual. But you tell me the policy and I will wait. Which policy has she told us about within the past couple months that she has been the nominee? Not even nominee. She wasn't nominated, but the person who is put into this position for office. You tell me which policy protects your daughter's rights that she has put out. Baltimore's ICE office announced the arrest of 153, their 153rd illegal alien sex offender for this year. 2 times their previously deported Honduran national who re-entered the United States illegally again as they got away was convicted for raping a Maryland resident. Does that protect your daughter? That's a Kamala policy right there. These people are coming in here and they are raping and they are murdering. Rachel Morin, I'm sorry, she has 5 children. Which one of Kamala's policies protected Rachel Morin? Which one of Kamala's policies protected the 11-year-old girl who was raped and murdered and shoved under her bed in a laundry basket by the man who was living there illegally in her neighborhood? Which one of the policies protected that baby? Right? So don't come in here with an emotional argument. You want to tell me her policy that goes for our daughter's rights. I will be more than happy to sit here and talk policy, but don't bring emotions into it, because I can hit you with just as many emotional statements about these. Yeah, don't vote for somebody with a vagina just because she's walking around with one. I thought that they were gender neutral anyways. Like, why are we so focused on gender of our political running mates? I thought that gender is supposed to be fluid and not a thing anyways. So you want to tell me about a policy instead of emotion? I don't think you're going to. It's been 5 minutes since I asked. You guys prayed from the hurricane in Houston this time. That's good. Prayers for all in her path. I know Seal is getting her muck boots on, I'm sure, right now. She's gonna go down to the beach for us eventually. Hopefully she can do so safely and see the area. So I don't know. Sorry, that just triggers me whenever people come in and they like, listen, Hippiporium has been around for a long time. She's been a follower of mine for a long time. I will not ever dislike somebody just simply for who you're going to vote for. Vote for whatever party, is your preference and things like that. But if you're going to come in and try to encourage other people against a party or against a nominee, please show me policies. Show me policies. Which one of your daughters did Kamala Harris protect whenever she was fundraising for the people who were rioting and destroying cities back whenever they closed your beaches? That's good. That's probably for the best. Back whenever George Floyd was murdered. Do we remember that? And she was fundraising for the people who were destroying towns, destroying cities, destroying, looting, vandalizing, all of those things. Which one of your daughters did that protect whenever she was doing that? Let's see. Here's another one. Jocelyn Nungray, 12-year-old Houston girl. Here we go. 12-year-old Houston girl. Which one of your children, which one of your daughters did they protect whenever they let these illegal alien immigrants in that killed Jocelyn Nungray, who was murdered by 2 Venezuelan nationals who had recently entered the United States illegally and were released into the interior, both of them within barely 3 weeks. They had only been here for 3 weeks and they murdered a 12-year-old. 3 weeks. She was found strangled to death in a creek. God only knows what else they did to her. This poor 12-year-old girl. Did Kamala Harris protect her? Did she stand for her rights as a person? Did she stand for her rights as a woman? Come on. We got to focus more than on just abortion, which Trump has given to your states. You have an issue with your state laws and what they decide once it's been given to the states. You take that up to your state leaders. It shouldn't be a federally mandated policy because people in California are going to feel differently than people in Pennsylvania, are going to feel differently than people in Florida, are going to feel differently than people in Indiana. That's it, right? You're all going to have different feelings. You're all going to have different thoughts on that. You want to talk about abortion and things like that. That's great. But it should go to the states. We should be able to have a difference in opinion on that. We should be able to do that. You have an issue with that? Take that up with your local government who are supposed to be making the laws for your local area. Don't take that up with Trump. It's not his issue. But let's continue to talk about this. Let's continue to talk about these children, these daughters that were not protected whenever they're getting raped and murdered. 13-year-old New York City sexually assaulted by an illegal Ecuadorian immigrant. He recorded the attack. Disgusting. Recorded the attack as he raped her. And we know that the majority of rapes don't get reported. So how many have been happening in these towns? You have 25 migrants in one bedroom. You want to worry about daughters? How many of those daughters inside 25 migrants in one bedroom and per house, right? In these 800 square foot homes, how many of their daughters are protected? How many of their daughters are safe inside of those homes? If you have these guys walking around raping and killing people, come on. Rachel Morin, of course, we've all watched this case. And this guy We had seen the video footage. He was already being looked for another case that he was connected to. Remember the footage of him walking out the door for a sexual assault that he had done on a minor. And then he came over here to Harford County and killed mother of 5, Rachel Warren, while she was out on a jog. He just finally got arrested. I know most of you guys know that case. She's somebody's daughter. Was she protected by Kamala Harris? It's ironic. It's so freaking ironic that they put one of her flyers right in the middle because Rachel Warren's death is on her hands. She's the border czar. Oh, I'm sorry. They take that back, though. They don't want you to think that she was the border czar anymore. That's just 3. That's literally just 3. There's no vetting going on at our border. We are letting these people come in. They are absolute monsters. I mean, I can show you guys so many more facts than this. So many more. So don't come at me about the abortion stuff. It should go on to the locals. And if you have an issue with how your state does things, then vote out your local state representatives that change your laws in a way that you don't like. Period. That's it. That's all. But he's for in vitro fertilization. He is for growing families. He is for fixing the economy. He is for Americans. He is for trying to get things right so that our children can have a society to grow up in. Where are our kids going to be? Where are our kids going to be in 4 more years, in 10 years, in 12 years? Out of the last 16 years, it's all been Democrat except for 4. If you've seen a decline in the last 16 years, you have to ask yourself why. It's not just COVID. I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing the COVID cop-out for why everything costs so much more and why everything has changed. It's old. It's just old at this point. You can't continue to bring up old issues as the answer for current things, current problems that are going on. I know most creators won't touch these topics with a 10-foot pole, but this is reality. I mean, honest to God, this is reality. This is what's going on. And this is important. Everyone is someone's daughter. Yeah, there should be a medical or rape law for each state. Each side didn't really state where exactly going to back for a young girl. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But again, putting it to the locals, that's where it needs to be. Because everybody is going to have different feelings on it. It's going to be a trigger topic. Some areas are more, I guess, conservative than others. Some are going to have different thought processes. You're not going to look at a state like, let's think like Utah. Utah is not going to feel the same way as Florida. Let me see. Hold on. Let's look at there are statistics I'm going to pull up too. In 1 second. I have to find it. But this is all stuff they didn't talk about enough, right? They should have dug more into all of this instead of just, I don't know, instead of just glossing over stuff again and again and again. Let's talk about the missing children. Yeah, the hyena laugh. I don't know why everything was so funny. We want to talk about daughters and the daughters and how worried Kamala Harris is about protecting daughters. Let's talk about some daughters for a second. Biden-Harris administration loses track of 320,000 migrant children, with untold numbers at risk of sex trafficking and forced labor. How does that protect daughters? Not just American daughters, but these migrants that they claim to care so much about. They claim to care so much about, and they're giving all of our money to them, and we're doing all the things, right? Biden-Harris. Biden-Harris. Unaccompanied migrant children surrendered at the U.S. border May 18th, 2023. That's what this video is from. Oops. I just made it go away. Sorry. But it's just showing like these children, as they're coming in, they just get these paperwork. Hey, show back up for court. And then they're put somewhere, probably in a house with 25 other people in one room. Says untold numbers of children who are released into the U.S. to qualified quote unquote sponsors are now at risk of sex trafficking and forced labor and other forms of exploitation, a Homeland Security Inspector General's report released Monday. As of May of 2024, 291,000 migrant children who arrived in the U.S. as unaccompanied minors who were set free and never given a date to appear in immigration court, meaning there is no way to track their whereabouts. This is in addition to the 32,000 children the Immigration and Customs authorities released into the U.S. From 2018 to 2023. One federal whistleblower said she believes that many of these vulnerable kids could already be in the hands of criminals and sex traffickers. The fact of the matter is, we have no freaking clue. No freaking clue. But let's make this election just about abortion, right? Just about abortion, because that's the trigger topic. That's what makes people emotional. Why is this okay? Why the heck is this okay? 344,000 kids. Rhodes told a House panel last month that in one case he saw involved a 16-year-old migrant girl whose sponsor who claimed to be her older brother. Prove it. Prove it to me that you're her older brother. Said he was touching her inappropriately. It was clear her sponsor was not her brother, noting that the girl looked drug and as if she was for sale. On her sponsor's social media posting, some non-family sponsors have even been found to be sponsoring multiple children released by HHS, which Rhodes described as a red flag. Hundreds of such cases were reported in 2023, where it's found that 344 unaccompanied migrant kids were released by the Biden administration were living with non-family sponsors who were hosting at least 3 other migrant children. This is the reality. Why do they want all of these people coming into our country? Has to be more than just votes. If the theory is that they rigged the elections, it has to be more than just votes. If the theory is that they don't care about what's happening to these migrants or whatever, you bring them here, you lure them in, you take their children, 344,000 missing. What you do with them? You have to wonder. And I'm just going to say, you have to wonder what the motivation is. If all of these children are suspected to be in situations of sex trafficking and worse, come on, guys. That's disgusting. Yeah, they give more kids even after one or more is missing. No protection. Where's the children the system keeps losing, right? Had an awful murder here in Houston from two illegals a month or so ago of a 13-year-old. It's crazy. It's crazy. These are the things that we're worried about. I could care less about what Taylor Swift is backing. Tell me about how you're going to fix this. How are you going to find all these kids? If you're going to let them come here, where are they? What happened to them? It's just, I don't know. It's just frustrating. I might keep being triggered. I'm sorry. I got really triggered and now I got to like calm down, and Seal's not here to be like, slow down, sleuth mom, simmer down. Sorry, guys. I don't know. The whole situation's frustrating. I felt very let down by the lack of question answering yesterday, by the lack of policies, and the lack of accountability for everyone. It's just frustrating. Let's see. Looking for one more thing. So partial abortion is another thing that I think that Trump was trying to allude to. Between that and then of course the governor, pull this up. Yeah, you're in and out. Oh, thank you. Someone needs to get fired up. I know, right? Oh man. I don't know. Here's a little summary video though. Let me just end on this. I'm gonna go and then I'm gonna get myself more organized because I have too many freaking tabs open. And we're gonna keep talking about this because it's gonna keep being important. As long as I have time, I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating.
Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children.
Didn't answer that question at all. She didn't answer it at all. Like, okay, so you're gonna throw $6,000 at people with kids. That's great for, you know, people like Sleuth Mom here who has some children's. But how far is that gonna get me whenever I'm spending on average, I would say probably around $400 more a month on groceries on average. So that's just groceries. We're not talking about my gas or anything else like that. $400 per month for 12 months. I mean, that's a lot of money. So that $6,000 is not going to stretch to cover the cost of the inflation. And then wait a second, you're handing out money to us, $6,000 for the tax credit, $25,000 for all of these illegals, because their plan is to try to make these illegals all to be citizens and then give them all money towards housing. So You take that money and you add that all on top of the inflation, because of course we're just going to keep printing money with no end in sight, with no way to actually back that money, and then the inflation's just going to keep getting worse. Prices are just going to keep rising. That $6,000, we'd be lucky if it lasts me 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months, maybe. So no, I'm sorry. That doesn't answer the question. We are not better off than we were 4 years ago. We are not doing better as an economy. We are not, and your crap plan to print out more money, it's not going to fix our issues. I'm sorry, it's not. You can't just keep throwing money at the wall and praying that it fixes everything. Hey, I know, these stupid Americans, I got it. We'll just trigger them about the abortion topic, and then we'll just throw money at them, and they'll be so happy that they're getting money, that they won't pay any attention to the fact that we are robbing them blind. They want you guys to submit to your own misery, and that's what it comes down to. They want you to willingly walk into the trap.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because there was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. We have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that she and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic. And the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounce back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
Well,
And I think that's where we leave it, right? Because that's where we are. She gave us no answers for the stuff that we needed to know. You know, yes, she triggered Trump. Yes, he got a little bit more frustrated and off topic in different situations than he probably needed to be. But at the end of the day, I know no more about Kamala Harris than I did yesterday. And the things that I know from yesterday, from the last time that she ran, from the last time that she did debates, from the last time that she stood up to take this position, to take this office, the things that I know about her policies and the desires that she had in the past, the things that she has said, her values have not changed, are not something that I can stand by and just not speak about and not question. Where the heck will we be? She is farther left than we could ever dream to believe. farther left than Joe Biden ever could have been. And I just question, where will we be in November? Where will we be whenever this election comes? And I really want to hear from people who were undecided going into this debate. Undecided. Did you feel like you left with more answers to questions that you have? Did you feel like you left with any type of assurity over who to vote for? That's something that I'm curious about. And so I don't know. Like I said, we'll leave it here. I am going to talk about this again. Hopefully next time we can get a couple people on panel so that you guys can kind of bounce ideas off me, and we'll chat it up and see where everybody's thought processes are, because I want to know. This is not a one-sided channel. You are more than welcome to come in here and talk policy. You want to tell me about policies that you believe. Don't come in here with emotional fights, though. Don't come in here with emotional battles. Let's talk about the policies. So, all right. Bye, guys. Love you all. And I will talk to you all later.